What up? What
What's
up,
happening,
kid?
fool? Oh, fools.
Usually I say kids, but
I know, right?
it's
I
only
called everyone
Wednesday.
fools just now. I don't know what was up with that. I've been hanging around with you too much. That's what it was.
I know. I know. I used to be really bad about saying fools, and
Yeah,
then it just kind of as the
fizzled
boys
away.
got older, it's bruh,
You're like, yeah, I can't call them fools
But
anymore because
last
they've
year
been
it was
calling their teachers
girl.
fools.
Everybody was girl,
Yeah.
boy or girl.
Oh, let me tell you, I ran into a situation recently. I can't share all the details, but what I can share is
Okay.
this one bit
Okay.
where somebody was telling me a story of uh, a young woman who came up to him. He's an adult. There was a young woman that came up to him and was like, "Ooh, girl, we need to talk about this, okay?" And
Uh-huh.
proceeded to go into the topics, right? And this was a professional environment. It wasn't like weirdness. It was just professional. But
Right.
the guy had told me that he didn't tell me he didn't like it. He was telling me a story and he goes, "She came up to me and was all like, 'Ooh, girl,' and then pause for dramatic effect." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Why'd you stop?" And he was like,
Did you
and
say,
then
have you been
started
talking
telling.
to Sandy?
And so he told me the rest of the story, but he wasn't as descriptive. In fact, it was a very short story after that. He just says blah 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 blah, and then I was kind of like, that doesn't describe anything. Why would you tell me so much about the first part though? And so he was like, "I'm just saying she shouldn't have come up to me like that." And I was like, I'm just gonna say real quick, I was like, in my house, it's okay for the girls to say, "Hey, girl," and not be a girl. It's okay. I was like, because if you think about it, we call girls guys all the time, and there's no issue about it. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was just gonna let you know that in my house. So if my daughters ever do that to you, I was like,
It's
just prepare
it's a
yourself.
learned and it's an okay behavior.
It is a learned behavior. So how would you guys feel for the fellas out there watching right now? Which I usually it's a lot of the ladies who watch us, but for the fellas, how would you feel if your daughter, wife, or even just some Sandy off the street kind of thing were to call you girl instead in place of where they say guys? What would that make you feel like? So anyway, we can get to
So,
this
but
later.
just
That's
speaking on me telling people, I've had kind of like a reaction, but people 99.9% of people just laugh because
Do
they're
you
like,
think they're
"Girl,"
giving you
and
like
then
a
they laugh.
they're like, "Oh, that was funny," but you're kind of like, I wasn't saying it to be funny. I was just saying it, but okay, keep
I'm
going.
like, no, that's just how I communicate."
Yeah. So anyway, I'm curious about that because if you watch the beginning of our shows, Sandy was doing that, and I was like, "Huh? What?" Yeah. So it was you who changed my mind about it and made me feel more
Because it's not anything like that you should take offense to.
right. Yes.
Like, now if you said "big" and I didn't know you,
Bench. If you called me a bench,
if you call me a bench and I didn't know you, then I'd be like,
maybe there's
"What?"
something there, right?
But
Then
there's a girl that I know that, her and I can go back and forth, bitch this, bitch that, and it's fine. But it
yeah,
just
yeah.
depends on who you're with. Girl, that's not one of those. Hey, CPJ.
What's up, CPJ?
I just watched the cutest video of your kiddo putting that hair clip in her hair. Loved it.
Oh, I haven't
Loved
seen
that
it.
little video. You should see it. So cute. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things that don't bother me that bother other people. So there's also that.
And that makes sense. I guess there's some things that can, like, I'm okay with, it's going to sound weird. I'm okay with people feeling offended by some things I say as long as they correct me and I can make the change. And then there's some stuff, like if you tell me, like if you try to say, I don't know, whatever, like if you try to tell me something weird, I can't describe it. But what I'm saying is I don't mind tripping on myself and then you
Hey,
correct
guy
me.
and girl. What up,
But hey,
Joanne?
Joanne, so I don't mind that, Sandy. I don't mind being corrected. I'm okay. I'm okay fully making the mistake, and if you correct me, I can adjust from that. I'm okay with that. So I can't even give an example right now. But anyway, just know that
All
that's
I'm saying is don't correct me because you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Anyway, so Joe Baker has some editing to do, so he is not going to join us tonight.
right.
But
He's be sleeping.
I know, right? Speaking of Joe Baker, I know that he mentioned to y'all last week that I was out of town with his wife. We did have a death in the family, so we got home pretty late.
Yeah, he was telling all your business.
Yeah, I heard him,
I
and
was
that's
like,
okay. You know I'm an open book, it's fine. But I also had to work on my taxes because I left town, and usually I do everything with it I have 10 days to spare. I had less than 24 hours to spare. So I had to do my taxes. Anybody else wait to do their taxes last minute? No, just me.
no,
All right.
sorry.
Anyway,
Sorry,
so
you can own that one all on your own.
oh, that's fine. I'll own it. Luckily, my CPA is Cole, and she usually hounds me. She hounds me pretty much at the beginning of the year. As soon as you get everything in, get them into me, get them into me. Anyway, so I finally got them to her October 14th at 10 a.m. So thanks for letting me be off. Oh, you froze. Anyway, so Joe also mentioned to you guys that Eric was very punctual
6 or
to
7
get
months later, but that's okay.
what?
What do you
You
mean what?
froze. You've
How
been frozen
long?
for like the last maybe 30, 40 seconds.
Oh, I don't even remember I don't remember.
What were you saying about 6 or 7 months?
I guess I was ending with at least 6 or 7 months late is better than never. I
Well,
think
it's
that's
not
what.
late because we get an extension.
Oh, okay.
And then so you
Gotcha.
have until the 15th of October to file. So
Gotcha.
but anyway, so what I was saying is, Joe was telling everybody that why we were out and all that stuff. But anyway, Joe also mentioned to you guys that Eric was very punctual to pick me up.
Now we're gonna get the other side.
Eric actually was early to pick me up. And so the following day we had a birthday party.
Okay.
To where if you know my family, we're like, hey, family, everybody, hey, kids are hugging, blah, blah, blah. Joe Baker did not acknowledge my presence.
Ooh, are you serious?
I'm serious. He was in line ordering
Uh-huh.
his food. And then I'm like, oh, hey, Joe. And he turns around and he's like, oh, hey.
He gave you a
Like we just
courtesy, hey.
like we
That's what
just
that was, right?
coincidentally ran into the same spot.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
It was planned. And
That,
I think he was kind of bitter because Eric
oh,
was
so he
there
took it
early
out
and
on you.
he took it out on me. But it's not my fault that, he thinks he can be anywhere in 15 minutes when he lives in Wolford.
It's not like being in Lubbock anymore, is it?
It's not like being in Lubbock. It takes a little bit longer, but that Marcia Sharp does help quite a bit.
It's so funny thinking about that. I got to get on it once, maybe twice since I've visited there. And I can remember. So for me, for y'all, it's there, right? But for me, it's like that's one of the last pictures I have was before the freeway was there when it was just breaking ground or whatever. And so to see this giant, long thing in the middle of town is just like crazy.
Oh my goodness. Look who's popped in here. I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I do
Oh,
actually.
yeah, you don't have to worry. She's got you covered.
Right. No worries. No worries. But anyway, so yes, that grinds my gears that he just didn't acknowledge me. And I had to be like, hey, Joe, how's it going?
Yeah.
Look at this. Joe has to be top dog.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna let him talk. I'm gonna let him talk. God
Joe
dog it, John. I swear to
Chon
gosh.
is somewhere in here. Chon, you hadn't even commented enough to be angry. What are you
I
talking?
know.
Or did Joe make you angry not speaking to me? That's probably what it is.
That would make me angry. But
probably
it's kind of like that because like I shared a couple weeks ago, is like in all the chats, you're the only one who gets any responses from Joe and any of the smiley faces or thumbs up. Did you look at all the chats today, for example?
Let's see here. Did he acknowledge me? No, because I actually sent
he
you guys.
acknowledged all of yours.
No, I sent a picture and I really thought Joe was going to have like this great comment. And
oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he just kind of left me hanging. And so I debated. I'm like, oh my gosh, if this isn't Joe Baker comment worthy, Should I even post it?
Yeah. I guess I need to specifically at him to get some
Maybe
responses
some
from him or
feedback.
something.
I put this one on for you both because you always have wonderful responses to my pictures.
Thank you. It was a good
But
picture, I thought.
thank you. And Joe
It's tiny
didn't.
little bitty, little bitty.
Did you love my little
He was
snow?
cute. It
I was
really
talking about
was.
the one that I really said, I was like, I channeled my inner Bob Ross on this one.
The sky one?
It, mm, I, mm,
Was that today?
I can't, no, I think it might have been yesterday.
Okay.
I thought, let me just see what Joe says. So CPJ says, of course, Joe is confused about what you are talking about. He's worried about the noise on all his pics, not your mouth.
Oh,
Yeah, I bet he wishes he had noise reduction on me and Jamie. But anyway,
that's true.
so,
That's true. I'm
you
sure he
know,
does.
I'm sure he does. Oh, he does actually have noise reduction. It's called muting us because we talk too much.
We do, though. We do. I'm looking.
Oh, get payback, Sandy, on Joe. You show right, Sean. Look at this. I can't keep up with y'all's chatting. That's him.
I feel like he's coming at me with that.
I know. That was aggressive.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with y'all's chat. Who's y'all? First of all.
This is ours, but if you want to be like that.
Yeah, Joe.
Anyhow.
Anyway, you know what else grinds my gears?
Tell me, because I am interested in this. And you guys, yes, and I'll get to it in a minute, but you guys put what grinds your gears in the chat, because I want to hear some of y'all stories too. But Sandy and I have been going back and forth this last week or so, really sharing a ton of grind gear. So I want to know which one she has, because I was like, oh, I got to say, remind me. I already forgot what I needed to bring up tonight, Sandy.
Yes, you have a scary story to tell us.
No. Okay. Okay. We'll get there, but go on first.
Okay. So what grinds my gears is the same people that stop 500 feet from the stop sign at a four-way just so that they can go first are the same idiots that stop on an intersection at the light.
Hold on. I'm not at 100%, so I gotta.
Okay. So let's visualize. There's a four-way stop.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so the thing is, the first one there goes first, right?
Right.
Okay, so there's people that stop 500 feet away from the stop sign.
Like way back, or
yes, way back. They stop way back so that they can be the first ones to take off. You know,
okay. I see. So instead of waiting to get to the stop sign, they actually stop when they see you coming. They just stop so they can be like, "Oh, I'm already done, and I get to go first." Okay.
Exactly.
I'm following you.
And those same morons that do that are the same ones that stop on top of the intersection at the light.
They stop.
You know, you're supposed to stop behind. You stop behind the pedestrian dilly, not on top of it.
Yes, I'm following you.
So I just feel like those two people are the same people. And it grinds my gears to no end. Why? Because I have a four-way stop.
Okay.
And then I'm at a school crossing where I see people stopped on top of the thing where kids have to go around the vehicle.
Oh, a school crossing.
Yes.
Okay, you said something else.
The pedestrian walk is what I meant.
Okay. I'm following you now, though. Okay, all right. I feel you on that. Right?
Well, it just irks me to no end.
I think for me, it's on the first one, at least, it's the opposite. So I personally don't mind them stopping all the way back, although it's weird. But the ones that get me are the ones that stop past the stop sign and act like they get to go just because they're already past it. And it's like,
they're already halfway out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, chill out. And you know, it grinds my gears too, Sandy. It grinds my gears, that type of mentality. But you know, behind the emotional reaction, I'm like, I'm glad I'm not going in front of you, because you're the kind of person that I'll be going the speed limit and you got to pass me. And we all know we hate to be passed. Like that's like someone who's walking next to you and bumps your shoulder, doesn't say excuse me, sorry, or anything else, and keeps walking. That's what that feels like. And you're all like, well, then go ahead. You have to be somewhere.
I hope you get there. I'm always, whenever they pass me, I'm like, I hope you get there in one piece.
Yes.
CPJs.
Okay, go.
mind blown over people who do that go a smidge before the light turns green. Why? Why are you removing your foot from the brake at a red? You are
I'm with
not
you,
in a NASCAR
CPJ.
race.
I'm with you,
And
CPJ.
then
I
so they
feel
cause
that.
a jerk reaction because they take off and
Yes.
everybody's like,
Exactly. Everyone else is going, and you're like, just calm down. Just calm down.
yes.
Jeez. You know what? I feel like those same people might be. So you remember about a month ago, Sandy, I called you because, or maybe it was Joe, but I said I had to grind my gears of people who park in double spaces,
Oh, the ones that
especially.
like don't want their cars to be dinged.
And I guess that's the mentality behind it, right? You don't want your car to get
Their
dinged, so
car
you
is
take
that
a.
special.
Yeah. And so in my mind, I'm like, just park farther away. If you're
I
farther
think it
away,
makes you a target.
I
You're
feel like
parking
it
into
does. Because
parking
you know
into
what? I want to park close to you and just set your tail up and just be like, get out now, sucker. You
yeah.
know?
Yes. There was a lady that had just gotten in from a long flight,
Uh-huh.
and she actually has one of those vans that have a ramp because she has a disability. So
Okay.
she needs the full, you know how they have the little checkered off little pattern
Yeah.
next to the van?
Traditionally, those are for like motorcycles and
No, no, no.
things,
Like
right?
it's next to a handicap, and there's
Oh,
like
okay.
some
Yeah, yeah,
space.
yeah.
You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah, now I do.
And so she even has a sticker, "Please do not park close to me so
Okay.
that I can get in." So here she is coming home from a long flight, and she
Uh-huh.
cannot get in her vehicle because they parked at that spot where they wouldn't
Ooh,
usually park.
come on, man.
And police wouldn't do anything, and nobody would have his vehicle towed.
What? Now that's some straight up baloney right there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I would be researching. And Reddit has a thing for this, Sandy, where it's like, what's the most that I can do legally
Legally, yeah.
without getting busted? Or you know what I mean? It's or what's the most illegal thing I can do if I know I'm not going to get caught? Something like that, right? I can't
Yeah.
remember what it's called, but I'll admit, I feel like that would fall perfectly under that umbrella right there because you know the jerks, man.
I
I
would
can't.
flag down somebody with the winch and move that car out of the
Right.
way and just leave
And
it
I would have
sticking
no
out.
qualms about it. I'd be like, okay.
And
And in
just leave
fact,
it
I'll
sticking
leave
out
it.
because
Yes, I will leave it hanging out right there. No
you did
problem.
not care enough about me and my handicap. Anyway, this is a dang good comment right here. I
Go
mean,
for it.
who in their right mind wants to be in the intersection in Lubbock when people are running red 5 seconds after green? I be sitting, y'all. And yes, that's one thing that I've had to harp on Kate now that he's kind of,
Mhm.
driving and stuff. You wait. I don't care if they honk at you. You will wait because we're on 179 and 19th Street. People run that sucker like their house is on fire and they have to get to it. It's ridiculous how
You
bad.
know, I feel like so since I moved up here, there was a long stretch where not a lot was going on, but there was this short period fairly recently. It was like 2, 3, we'll just say 5 years. There was about 5 years there where it felt like that scenario was happening way often. And it'd be like you could just be sitting at the red light here, or is about to turn green, and or maybe it had just turned green, and you just see boom. And you know what? I hate this because so I lost a buddy in that type of scenario. I mean,
Oh,
like
was that because he
that's
was in a motorcycle,
he was
right?
in a motorcycle
Oh
and
my
he had the
God.
right of way, and the other vehicle had a red light, but they passed it and they took his life. And then my wife and I, probably about 20 blocks away from there, but it's the same one of the same one ways. Same thing happened to us. Green light, she and I went. We had just started our date night. We were probably like 5 to 8 minutes away from the house, and we had the green light, and we go, and then got sideswiped on the from them.
Oh my
And
gosh. Did you say date night?
yeah, it was date night.
Did you hear about this other date night that just happened? It's on
Tell
the
us.
all over the news.
Uh-uh.
So, girl and guy get back from their date. They had flown over to this other little place, little Cessna prop plane. Super, isn't that romantic?
It
You
sounds.
you're able to fly over to your date
Oh,
and then fly on back.
yeah, that is. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
isn't
also a
it
big
romantic?
spender. I feel like that's a big spender
But
thing.
hold on. She gets out and goes towards the back. He gets out, goes towards the front. The damn propeller hits him and kills him.
Shut up, Sandy.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. It's true story.
Hold
True
on.
story.
They're getting off. They're getting off of the plane.
Mhm.
She goes towards the back. He
Yeah.
goes to the front where the
Yes.
propeller is. And
Yes.
was this just like freak? Hey, I'm gonna just go look
I
at
bet it was a
get
freak
a shot.
accident, and
Was the
I
propeller
think
supposed to be off by that point? And he
well,
just,
I mean, you know, it still has a spin to it.
oh my gosh,
Yeah, I'm glad you said date night. That triggered that memory.
that is so freaking ridiculous. What the heck?
Right?
How traumatic.
Very traumatic.
I'd be like, I'm never going on a date night on a Cessna ever again.
Oh,
Sorry, I
can't that
shouldn't.
let dampen the mood?
Freaking
can just
Cessna,
bypass.
Boeing or nothing.
Yeah, that damn propeller.
Yeah,
Exactly.
basically. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not doing plane dates.
You
We'll
and
do
the business not
vacations.
going to be doing
Yeah.
little
No.
flats.
No.
So let me see. CPJ says, I watched a jerk guy fly his door open into my Jeep, into Ruby. How dare he? Well,
Mm-mm.
it was into my running boards and it jacked his door. He looked at me like, and I was like, oh, be kind. Don't you wish you could
You,
rewind?
you remember when I see CPJ put that little thing in there, do you remember how Cubert talks?
Oh, yes, yes.
That's what I hear when I see those type of things. But
Oh, yes. Let me
I
see.
can't so he got pissed at you, CPJ, because he ran his car door into your car.
What an interesting topic that you bring up. He had the audacity
The audacity
to get mad.
at you because you parked your car inconveniently in front of his door.
So Joe sent us a video now that we're talking about cars and hitting things and getting mad. Are you going to play this?
I am, but I'm not going to play.
You can mute it. No, because it's not a sound actually. But you know they'll flag you for anything these days.
I know. Here's
have
what
a
I'll
friend
do.
that
I'll
can't
just
go
show the
live for
picture of
whatever
it.
reason.
I won't
Okay.
play it and I won't do the
Okay.
audio, but I'll show it so that it helps illustrate your story. Okay.
Okay.
We'll do that way. So go ahead and
Okay.
say it because I'll share it and you can still keep talking.
Okay.
So I'm
So
not gonna
Joe
keep it
sent
up
us a
long.
video earlier because he felt like being chatty, and he tagged and said, "Sandy, what do you think? Whose fault is this?" So this
See
gentleman
how
that
he
is
was getting
recording.
Sandy's idea though? He wanted Sandy's.
Well, because I'm in insurance, that's why.
Okay. You say?
And just because I'm in insurance, so that's why. Anyway, so you see, this man is recording. He hit this vehicle and caused $4,200 in damages. And he is mad that the guy in the white pickup does not want to take responsibility. Now, oh, Jamie froze again. Dang it, he froze again. So anyway, those of you that don't know insurance, what are your thoughts on this? Whose fault is it? Is it the guy that was driving or is it the car that was parked? And mind you, he's parked legally. He's not doing anything wrong. Yeah,
I think
he
that
has
part's
a
important to
hitch.
see too.
Yeah, totally. And if some of y'all know, I've got a big old truck like this, and I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't paying for nobody. You're paying for my damage that you caused to my vehicle. Just FYI. Anyway.
So Sandy and I had a bump on this topic, right? Because I could relate with him. Not relate. I can understand how he feels. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it made sense to me. That's what it was. It made sense to me why he's frustrated that the parked vehicle that's sticking out past the parking spot he ran into. Very similar to your situation, CPJ. But I can understand why he'd be upset because I'd be upset if I didn't have a car all of a sudden or my car was damaged or you know what I mean? Just any kind of whatever. I would be frustrated by that. That makes sense to me. I'm also frustrated when I go to the local noodles joint and fork out $50 for my family. And I was like, $50 for noodles? What? So I'm frustrated at that. I'm still going to pay it though. I'm not going to fight it because They
So
didn't
I
twist my
think what
arm.
kind of triggered me was the fact that you used the word entitlement for the
And
white
I was
people.
saying, I think it's
And
interesting that
maybe
they made
I
me feel like they were entitled. They were entitled because that I felt like it was an entitlement post. So that video, because he's like, do you think I should pay this because he was sticking out? Like that feels entitlement to me. He doesn't deserve entitlement, Sandy. I'm saying he feels like
okay.
that's
I
like
thought
the
you were
people who
saying that the truck was like
no, the guy
making
who was
them
pointing it out, the guy who's doing the video,
see.
he
I could
sounds
be reading shit and
entitled.
getting mad.
You are getting so and this never fails. So I've learned that once Sandy's emotions get triggered, I've got to calm her down quick and explain it fully, or else she is triggered for
Ew,
a
ask Eric.
long time.
Ask Eric. Eric said, "Well, that's not what I said." I'm like, "What
And that's what
did you
so
say?"
in my comments to Sandy, I was like, Sandy, I was like, the feeling of frustration and his responsibility to pay for the accident, two separate feelings, two separate emotions there. I
So I
can
get
relate to what
mad
he's
when I get
feeling.
pulled over, but I'm
Yes.
also know that it's my fault.
Yes.
I acknowledge that it's my fault.
Yeah.
This gentleman got
Didn't
mad
want.
because he got pulled over and he did not acknowledge that it was his fault. You know,
Yes.
same thing. So I get the
Yeah.
frustration, but I
Yeah,
do
so do
not
I.
get you
I
going
sympathize.
viral with an incorrect. I'm
No,
like,
because this is one of those times where it's like the fact that you're putting more attention on this, I feel like I'm like it's making you look like an idiot first.
yeah.
You do sound like you're entitled, and the truck was parked. Even if I feel like you are taking up more space than you deserve in your spot, it was still parked.
Yeah.
And so
And
here's
it
the
was
thing: I
parked
was
legally. It looks like it's right in between both spots. You
well,
see
and
the
I
car
won't
up
say
under the
legally because I
window.
don't know that because I think
Well,
about
there
this.
was okay, so there's no red line because usually, like, if you're sticking out further, that means the fire truck can't get through. Should there be a
See
need?
now, if there's a red line, right?
There wasn't. I looked at it.
No, there's a red line on the video.
Stop it.
Yeah, Sandy.
Let me see.
Is her tune about to change, everyone?
No, because it's still the same thing. You still hit him. Okay, yeah. No, it's still fine. He still hit that vehicle. He still
He
collided.
did. You're right. You're right.
He's not a
But
fire department.
it could be two separate things, right? Though this truck could be parked illegally,
Mhm.
but if it is, I still think it was parked, and the guy who hit it, you're still liable for that, man. You're still
Yeah,
liable.
you're
It
still liable.
sucks.
You collided. You know, there was an incident where a person that we know collided with the fence.
Uh-huh.
It's
It's
still
still you.
it's still
Yeah.
an at fault. It's still a collision. You collided.
So I was telling Sandy and Joe this. Everyone, I was telling them like this story. This reminds me of here up here in the north, and I don't know if it's I cannot remember in Lubbock how it
Joanne
was,
said
but
the
up here,
driver.
yeah, we're with you, yeah. But up here in the north, so they do a ton of road work, right? Because we go through all the seasons.
The fence collided with me.
She didn't say any
I wasn't
names.
even talking about you, God. How many people hit fences?
But up here, because we go through all the seasons, especially because we throw salt on the floor on the road so often, there's lots of work that has to be done, right? So here's the scenario I was painting for them. And this scenario grinds my gears. I gotta stop saying the P word because my kids in my family, my wife especially, has been like, that's a bad word. And the girls start saying it at school, and I'm like, and they're like, but Dad, you say it. I'm like, yeah,
I also teach you how to clean your rooms, and I also teach
you didn't listen to that part,
you
did
didn't
you?
listen to
You know
that.
what? So, I appreciate that. I'm gonna come back with that one. So anyway,
Go ahead.
yeah, I digress. But so up here, there's a lot of times where there's construction work being done, right? So imagine this: a 2-lane road, right? So one way, right?
Mhm.
And it's residential, but they're working on the curb, they're working on the street, whatever you want to say. The fact is that there's some sort of construction work being done. Okay, so there's no construction work in this lane. There's construction work in this lane in this spot, maybe. If you're in this lane, you get free reign because there's no construction work on your side. But if you're on this side and you're coming down, you have to wait until these cars pass. Huh?
Is there like a pilot car that comes and gets you whenever they alternate?
They let whoever. No, but I know what you're talking about. That happens on the highways, but this is just
Okay.
residential streets. And this is my opinion. I don't know that this actually is written anywhere or whatever, but it makes sense to me. So I'll get y'all's opinion on this. So on this side of the street, though, traffic flows freely because there's no construction work. Over here on this side, traffic has to wait for there to be no traffic on this side to pass the construction and get back on their side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
But what you have here is people, in my words, my thoughts, who feel entitled because their road is down, that they can just come over here and they make you or want you to scoot over farther because they need to get around.
Out of the way.
And I'll stop there. There have been times where I'm going and I'll just stop when I see them getting out. And I'm just sitting here until I see cars come behind me, dude.
Grinds
my dang gears. And everyone.
I get it. It makes sense. So CPJ earlier threw up a comment that said, Sandy, show that red flag post I sent you a few days ago. We need some opinions. So I'm going to alter this a little bit in case somebody in our audience wrote it.
Go for it.
My wife opened a bank account earlier this month without telling me. Statement came in the mail. Strange, but okay. Maybe she wants her own spending money to feel secure. I can kind of understand. I was planning to let that ride and see if she makes any deposits. Then today, and then I sent it to you.
Oh, okay.
Then today, in the mail, a life insurance company sent a denial on an application for me that I didn't apply for. Did she forge my signature? The denial was addressed to her, but denying coverage for me. Isn't that illegal? I don't know much about life insurance, but I'm pretty sure you can't attempt to apply for it for an adult without them participating in the process. Maybe she's watched too many Dateline episodes. Makes me nervous. Y'all, this was an anonymous post in a group. And what's funny is CPJ sent this to me, and shortly after, like she sent it to me, I can't remember how many, it had 16 answers. When I looked at it, it was like at 40, and it was just a matter of time.
Okay.
So what do you guys think? And I can tell you, to answer some of the questions. Eric and I are married, but I cannot purchase a life insurance policy on him without him knowing. He has to sign. I can be the owner and I can be the payer, but he has to sign the documents. So.
Okay. I think, yeah, I would have to be like, okay, so it's very weird. And anything that's just weird or odd should be a red flag. And there's always that topic in I feel like you should be able to go to your spouse and ask them about anything, right?
Right.
This would be one I'd be like, I've heard Sandy a bit too many times. I don't know that I want to show all my cards out quite yet. I might need to make an exit strategy, write a few notes just in case no one hears from me. Something. Put some cameras around the house.
This is serious red flags.
Yeah. This is, I would be stupefied by finding this out. Like I would sit there for a minute, look at the letter and just kind of be like, what's going on here? Like it would take me a bit to really register, but knowing myself, like I can't keep secrets long or anything else like that. Like I'd be like, babe, what does this mean? And I would just give it to her and ask her. I'd probably take some pictures, send to Sandy and say, Sandy, what does this mean?
Right.
First,
right.
Just to be like, what's going on here? I don't want to, the heart of it would be like, I don't want to sound like an idiot when I go talk to her. Right.
So let's just, and also to the person that did this, I mean, can you not go paperless, you dumbass? I mean, do they not make paperless? I know we don't get statements anymore. They're all paperless.
So, okay.
So she was meant to get caught.
Yes. So I would say, so in our house, for example, Sandy, we don't go paperless. It kills me every time, but we don't. Okay.
You
And
don't go
so
paperless on your bank statements when you can print them out if you need them on demand?
no.
Oh my.
So that's mainly because Dr. Pineapples she likes to have the paper to ensure that stuff is taken care of. You know what I mean? And she likes that proof versus where it's digital, it's accidentally deleted or not sent or whatever, fill in the reasons there.
Yeah.
I'm the
I mean, I
opposite. I'm
get
like
it.
you. I want digital.
I'm scared about that in my office to go paperless, but like
Uh-huh.
my personal stuff, I'm okay with that. But it's just my office stuff because then you have people that be lying from 1892 that had you say, asked you to remove this vehicle.
Right. That
That
makes
stuff.
sense. So it's kind of the similar way in our house. It's like, and believe it or not, we've actually had situations where it's like the bill got paid or didn't get paid or something like that, and we're like, no,
Mhm.
look, here's the statement we have. And maybe that's the thing is we can show them because we have the paper here. And
Right.
even though a future bill for whatever reason doesn't have it, we can like, here. So it has saved us. I don't know that it's saved us
Hey,
enough,
Gabe, how are
there.
you?
What up,
Thanks
Gabe?
for hopping in here.
Man,
I don't
Gabe had
know.
a I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, 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 go ahead.
I was just saying, Gabe had a really interesting guest on his show tonight. I got to listen to a little bit before we started, but this guy was doing like, how can I fund my bucket list? And he was like,
Oh,
he had like YouTubes. This guy was talking about how he bought blogs that were making like $400 a month. I'm sitting here thinking that's a lot, right? And he's like, I went on there, revamped some stuff or whatever, and turned them around to make them like $1,000 a month income from these blogs that he bought. And he would just go down the list and he'd be like, I want to drive a Ferrari. Okay. How much is that going to cost? And then he'd go through and he'd be like, this is what I need to do. And so
wow,
YouTube,
that's
blogs, all this
awesome.
stuff. And he started marking stuff off of his bucket list. And he'd be on a talk show or whatever like now. And he would be like, you know what? That's a good idea. I want to do trains. So you know what? This time next year, I don't remember what it was, buy a train or something like that. Go on a Route 66 train ride. And I remember that because that's what Dr. Pineapples wants to do. So
I've
anyway,
seen those and they seem to be, of course, that's just like something that you see online, but they show like to be like for $237. I'm like, where are
you
you
mean the train
riding on?
rides?
Yeah, like what are you riding on the
Yeah.
top of the train?
No, the train they're cheap, Sandy. But
Really?
so like for example, because we've priced out to see if we can get my dad because he wants to get on train. He's retired, so he's got that availability.
Right.
But so I think it costs like $300-400 to get from, but he's got to drive to Dallas first or
Right.
DFW area, get on
Gotcha.
the Amtrak and come up here.
Mhm.
But so the trade-off you have with that though is it just takes an extreme amount of time. So
So that's the thing is you have to have time,
yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily a lot of fundage.
But well, and that's the other thing though. So you can get on a train trip. Like there's train. I can't remember the names right now, but there's actual like the North Pole one, for example. I know that's a silly one to think of, but anyway, there's train trips that you buy, and they're specifically to go sightseeing. And so you're looking at like the Appalachian Mountains on the side of
And
the
then you get
train.
stuck with the feral people. Ugh.
But a lot of times these trains will also make stops. So it's kind of like a boat. So they'll make stops in the certain big towns or off the wall places. You
Mhm.
go, you do some sightseeing for a little bit, then you get back on the train and continue on. So Dr. Pineapples and I want to get on the train and do that like a week or two in the summertime and go visit some
That'd be
places like
cool.
that. I think it would be
I think you
anything
get
that
to see
gets
a
me
lot of
not
the
driving. I'm fine with.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
You know.
I
All right,
know.
so get this. Can I tell you the story? Oh no, wait. I want to talk about real fast the thing I called you earlier that I couldn't because I'm gonna
Yes,
forget it.
yes, yes. Because then I told you save it for the show.
Yes. So Sandy, I called Sandy earlier, guys, and I was like, I was laughing when I called her, which I usually do, and I was like, "But Sandy, this is dumb." I was like, "This is so stupid." I could not believe I was listening to this.
And I
So
said,
I'm a big she. she did. And so I was like, okay, you guys know I really like to listen to podcasts and things like that. So that's my jam. I don't mind that. I really enjoy it. So I'm listening to a podcast today, and it's a national one, so it's like NPR or something like that. Anyway, there's a piece in there where they're talking about ghosts, okay? And we all know that there's been crazy ghost experiences, right? I've shared some of mine. We've watched countless shows. Cynthia has been on. She's got a whole page. Renee has a page. There's dedication to ghost, spooky stuff, spirits, and all that, right? I'm going to take the red flags off because this is not a red flag
Oh,
story.
because Gabe's like, I have so many red flags. Gabe's ready.
But Gabe, start typing them in there because we'll come back to it. Those are always a fun topic for us, okay? But anyway, so okay, so they're talking about ghosts that have physically hurt people, haunted.
That's poltergeist.
Yes, haunted.
Oh no, he froze, and then he's gonna come back, and he's thinking that he's gonna tell the whole story. Gabe, give us real quick while we wait for him to unfreeze. Give us one of your red flags because you missed it. I told a story about a lady and her red flags. Oh my god. So Gabe says, I feel that ghosts watch me when I go PB. Joe says ghosts are photoshopped. Joe, but if ghosts are photoshopped, why have you never photoshopped one in? Jamie, did you tell the entire story?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like, oh no.
Okay. So anyway, we know about all these horrible ghost stories and stuff, right? So there's such a poltergeist story types that I've never heard of until today. Sandy, these people were talking about, I don't even remember the name they called it, but ghosts that are horny.
Oh, why did I knew you were gonna say that? I was like,
these people were talking about so some of these people were in the middle of having sex, and their ghosts would say the most crudest things to them. They said they would pick up and the lights and like everything that you would think normally happens would happen while they're
still doing it.
Well, they would be in the middle of sex and they'd be like, "Hello," because they thought they would hear something, and then they would be like, they would hear like, "Do it faster."
No.
or push harder.
That is the devil. If it's interacting with you, that's a demon. That is not a ghost. That's a demon.
They would hear stuff, and so because they would be like, "Is someone here?" And then the ghost would respond with that. So anyway, there was a few people who were talking about what they would hear, and I'm sitting there like, "This is dumb. This is
on
dumb.
NPR,
and this is on NPR, Sandy." And I was like, I gotta call someone. This is too stupid. So
and then I shushed you, and I said, "Save it for the show." Joe says, yes. What in the world are you talking about?
I'm telling you, it was.
Someone said, "No, thank you, Jamie," and he said, "Mister." A million X over here.
I'm just telling you, the story was out of control. I could not believe it.
They are ghost bangers. There was a lady, if you remember, she married her ghost.
That's right.
You remember? But
you didn't like that story. I remember you took great offense to it.
I really laughed at it. Anyway, they're going through a divorce, which is probably why I laughed at it. They're going through a divorce now.
That didn't last long because that was after everything. That was after our show started. So yeah, but so
that's
anyway.
So weird.
When you're getting busy next time, just and you hear a bump in the night, it may not be your partner. Just FYI.
What? Anyway,
save me. Give me another topic.
I mean, let's see here, because that was a very strange one.
It was, but that's why I was telling you. I was like, this is so dumb, but I couldn't get over it.
Let's go back to more things here.
More things.
This is really this kind of triggered me.
Okay.
A husband demands $5,000 from his wife's checking account for a personal vacation because she had to use $3,000 from their joint account for emergency surgery.
What is
wrong with people?
I do not understand this generation's capacity for stupidity on things such as gender reveal and
don't get us started on gender reveal.
And paying your spouse back. This isn't the first time I've heard of stories like a story like this, Sandy. I've heard of other ones where it's like, and it's weirdly enough, it's vacations. It seems like the guy or the woman, they feel like they need to take a vacation because their spouse either had to take a business trip, got surgery, had to take care of their parents, whatever it is. And it's like, I'm not frozen. I'm just my brain is frozen in this topic.
I just can't imagine you demanding, like, basically that I pay you back on top of, like, interest, because I only used $3,000, but you want $5,000 to fund a vacation. Where the hell are you going for $5,000?
But and here's the thing, Sandy. I have no problem with the concept or idea of guys' vacation, girls' vacation kind of thing, right? That makes sense to me. I'm okay with that.
I have a problem if the guy comes at me like this.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is a good scenario. What we're talking about. I'm saying separately. I get the idea of having to take, the guys want to hang out with the guys or go back home or whatever the case is, or vice versa. Interchange it out. What I do not understand is why in the heck do you put it in this package? Like, what does that do? How does that? I cannot see a logical reason that this package is delivered to a spouse of 1 year or 50 years and it goes well. And I can't stand by and just be like, yeah, you should still stay with them. They sound like the greatest person on the earth.
Sound like a peach.
They are, that's the person you want to go to bat for.
Let me catch up on some of these comments. Joe Baker says, I'm concentrating for at least 5 minutes. I ain't got time to be listening to no damn ghost. This fool said 5.
Hold on.
This fool said 5 minutes.
Do you understand what he's talking about, Sandy?
I know exactly.
Okay, I just making sure.
Do you understand that he said 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because I'm thinking about 2%. So.
I know. You love 5 minutes. No mames. Gabe, man, if I fail in a ghost marriage, talk about rock.
Oh, leave her alone, Gabe. Leave her alone.
Gabe, it's like wah wah wah. I mean, seriously, it is. Oh, look, Mr. S. This goes to the comment of the guy demanding $5,000.
Okay.
So Gabe says, do they do gender reveals? Listen, we are so sick of any kind of reveal. Keep that. Nobody wants to know what your musty,
I don't give a
potato.
dang.
We don't want to know what that little potato
is. It gets me like coraje right here. I'm just like,
I know. Oh. Would you just pop a balloon and gray powder goes everywhere?
No, Gabe, we don't even want that here anymore, okay? No. Because the next thing you know, a balloon doesn't get popped. It floats up in the sky, hits the electric line, causes an entire power outage in the city, and then everyone on life support dies.
We get a little.
I'm telling you, I'm done with them. Don't bring up a gender reveal.
You missed an article. Whole freaking Brazilian family almost lost the Amazon River to their gender reveal.
They did a gender reveal in the city's water supply and tainted the entire thing.
The entire thing was blue.
Never mind.
It was a little girl.
Family members, never mind. Family members have exploded literally from gender reveals, or that there was over 100,000 acres of land that was burned so someone could share their. Nope, done. Get the stepping. Outlawed on all the states. Jeez.
Done.
And it'd be different if it was just a simple cake. I'd be fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't care anything. But y'all went too far, generation. Whatever. You went too far and you screwed it up for everyone.
Gender reveals.
Generation gender reveal. Oh, anyway.
I saw one and damn Bansa was all hanging out. Like, we got to see your gender reveal and your.
We get it. You're getting 2. Okay, we get it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
All right.
So my next grinds my gears.
Go for it.
You ready for this?
Yep.
No, it's not really a grinds my gears. It's another question. I think I sent this one to you guys too. Would you blindly give your life savings to your family member because they claim they can invest it.
That's right. I saw a video and I sent it to Sandy and I was like, and she asked this question and I was like, I'll save it for the show.
Okay.
I'll let you tell the story. I'll answer for you and give people time to answer also. So my response to that is going to be a practical one, Sandy. Man, if I got 20 bones in my pocket for you real quick, sure, why not? It's just $20. But if you're wanting my life savings, like I said, I got 20 bones in my pocket. That's probably about my life savings right there.
I got 5 on it. I got 5 on it. Okay.
And you see all the comic books over there. So I mean, if I sold a decent amount, I could probably get you something. But it's one of those things where I'm like, good on you if you succeed and it's great and it works out. I'm just glad to be your friend. Okay, that's all. I want you to succeed. I don't know that I'm ready, especially in an age post. What was Homeboy's name? The Ponzi?
Enron?
No, not Enron.
Rager Dykes?
I don't even know what you just said. But
that was our local
big
thief that ruined.
Okay. So something like that. Say it again.
Rager Dykes.
That does sound so familiar now.
Yeah, it was a local dealership here in town.
Okay. So I think post that big, the guy who took everybody's retirement money, Bernie Madoff. Post Bernie Madoff.
How do we forget Bernie Madoff?
That's why I was like, I can't believe I forgot it. The most I don't even know how to say it, but that guy, I think past that world, there's no excuse anymore, at least for the younger generations, for that scenario existing anymore. So, yeah, I couldn't invest.
So this scenario, just a little bit of backstory. He told his family that he was a doctor, yet I don't think anybody saw him graduate. There was nothing in the database to confirm
one of his family
was
members
a doctor. The family member had already given the money.
Yeah.
And then after gave the money, looked him up.
He said it was something weird. He was like,
wait a sec. Anyway, what he did was, did he poison the parents?
Oh my gosh. No. He went to their house. He killed mom. He shot mom, shot dad, shot the freaking dog.
What did the dog have to do with anything?
What? The dog didn't do anything. What did that make sense? Drove to his house, killed his wife and his children, took some sleeping pills, started the house on fire, went to go lay down on his bed.
And while he was playing, "This house is on fire." Just kidding. No, it's not playing.
The fire department shows up
in the nick of time.
His butt out of the fire, barely a scratch on him. They save his life.
Just to find out that he spent all of his family's money.
And
he
killed
wasn't even a damn doctor. Wasn't even a damn doctor.
You can't make this stuff up.
That's why I don't why watch fiction? Reality is stranger than fiction.
Because it's so true and it's disgusting. It's like, I'm glad they haven't done a TV show on, world's funniest or greatest gender reveals, because that would just trigger me.
Speaking of gender reveals, let's go back to this comment. CPJ says, our pregnancy revealed to my folks. Matt drew out a stick figure, people. I was pregnant in the pic. My mom didn't understand, and she said, "Are y'all trying?" And I don't think it's best time for that. You should wait. Womp, womp.
Oh no, CPJ.
Oh, sorry, CPJ. But at least you didn't burn down.
At least you didn't poison the entire city's water supply.
An entire ecosystem.
Yep.
I mean, and then Mr. Knapp Joe says, I had a buddy that lost 5,000 to Rager Dykes.
Dang.
and I smacked him and told him that he could have just given it to me. I could have made off with it. But
Oh man.
anyway, so you were going to say something before I brought up that story, but let me just
Oh, I
make
did.
sure that I'm
Yeah.
done with all of my stuff.
Well, no, it's fine if we're not because I have little bits and pieces here.
Well,
So
I
it's
have one more.
we don't have to because after I'm done with this, I don't know if I have another one. Is what I'm saying. You get what I mean?
No, but go ahead. Because, yeah, I have two more things.
Great. Hold on to them then. All right. So here's a story that I read earlier this week. Okay. And again, I'm going to put it down. This person is asking if you think that they're a butthead for moving out while their parents are on vacation. So I want to leave you with that first. I want you to think about that. Is this person a butthead because they moved out of their parents' house while the parents were on vacation? Now here's the gist of the story. This girl decides while her parents take a vacation that she's going to go ahead and move out. She has
Sean said yes.
So she has an older brother who's graduated, hasn't found his way in the world yet, graduated from college, hasn't found his way in the world yet, hasn't got a job, is chilling at home. Has two younger brothers who are both one's in high school, one's in middle school. Mom and dad work full-time jobs, and she's a college student as well. So mom and dad have put on her to do some things around the house to help out, such as grocery shopping, such as helping the boys out with their homework and driving them to their games and to their events, extracurricular activities, to help wash the clothes of everyone in the house, to wash the dishes, to sweep the floors, dust the furniture, clean the windows, basically do all these few little tasks around the house.
And this is just because she's living with them. She's not working. Is that what you said?
So she's not working. She is going to school full time though, as a college student. Okay. And she hasn't finished. Mind you, she hasn't, and everything I said earlier is still in play. Everyone's living in this one house. And so she's just done. She's just tired of it. She makes a plan to go move in with her boyfriend, but not move in. Her boyfriend's parents have an apartment above the garage. So they go move in. She goes to move into the garage. She waits one day for her. So her parents are away on vacation. Everyone's gone out the house. She waits for her older brother to get home. And he tells her, don't forget to go pick up little brother A and little brother B. So she's like, she leaves the keys on the counter. She walks out the door. She runs upstairs, grabs her laptop, grabs a few bags of clothes and everything else, beelines for the door, gets in the car with her boyfriend, drives to his house, set up shop in the apartment. And she texts and calls mom and dad and everybody else to make sure everyone knows that she's no longer living there and she doesn't have the keys and she's not moving back in. And so now her older brother is, skip a few weeks later, older brother is calling her and pissed at her because he's mad that mom and dad are making him do all the stuff that she was doing. And he's telling her what a jerk she is. The rest of the family, outside family, is also telling her what a jerk she is for not helping out mom and dad and the rest of the kids at the house. And so now she's thought about it, and now she's thinking, am I really the jerk? Did I really should I go back or what? So that's the story I'm giving you guys. What do you think?
Okay. So we have always been taught, whether you're staying at your house or you're at somebody else's house, you have to pull your fair share.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously she's living rent free.
Yes.
Someone's paying for that school because she doesn't obviously have money to pay for school if she's not working.
Good point. Yep.
And so your only job is to chauffeur some kids around and tidy up. And you're mad about that, so you throw a fit and you leave. But two, the parents should have split the duties to begin with with the brother, because I feel like she wouldn't have been as fed up had it been a fair split with the duties. I think there was just a lack of communication on all parts, and she did poorly, especially since she didn't go pick up her siblings and she was supposed to. She could have picked them up and left them at home and then left, or she could have said, "Hey, parents, I'm done with this. I'm moving out." Because what were they going to do? Stop her? And is she not going to tidy up around her in-laws? Like, is she not going to do? Everywhere you go, you're good. You know what it's like. You have to help. You have to. I don't know what the word is in English. I know it's in Spanish. Te tienes que acomedir, because the
You got to
helpful
earn
person earn your keep. Because the helpful person is worth two people, and you'll always be invited back if you're a helpful person. I don't know. That's just a lot to unpack there, but I think she was immature the way she handled it. Her parents maybe put a lot of stress on her, but at the same time, your parents are stressed raising you and supporting you and all that stuff. I don't know. Joanne wants to know if she's a maid. Joan says she's an ass, and I agree. She was an ass for leaving her kids.
So I disagree with both of y'all completely on that, and I think I'm like Joanne. I'm thinking, is she a maid here? Because the way she paints the story, and of course, there's always details we don't get to see, right? And there's
sometimes it's a slight exaggeration on what
it
you
could
do.
be, and I acknowledge that. Having acknowledged all that, I only have what I have to work with, right? So based on that alone, I do feel like there was. So what you mentioned in the second part, I think it makes sense. There was an unequal amount of expectation placed on her versus her brother, who has no job. And I misspoke. He didn't graduate college. He graduated high school. But he has no job, and he's not going to school, and is just chilling out at home all day, every day.
Are they Latinos? Because it sounds like a
Latino. I don't know.
You know how moms be with their Latinos.
I know, right? So the oldest she's 20. Her older brother's 22. Her two youngers are 15 and 12. And so between all of them, and that wasn't all. Okay, so I could also understand putting in some effort into it, right? But she was also in charge of meals, grocery shopping, picking up, dropping off. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. There was obviously an unfair. Things were not balanced.
Yeah. And if she was going to, it'd be different if there was a conversation, which I don't know that happened. If there was some sort of communication prior where she told mom and dad, "Yo, I feel like I'm getting trashed on," like you did a gender reveal for the three of them, but not me, So if there had been a conversation, I think it'd be different. Like at some point, because I've heard stories like this, you do what you got to do.
Yeah. So we got some comments coming in.
Go for it.
Joe says she needs to be talking with her parents, but if her parents were piling up all the duties, it can be very frustrating for a college student who's trying to better herself. She should not have left the way she did. Yeah, she shouldn't have left like that. She should have communicated. She should have told her parents, "Hey, let's divvy up some more of these chores. Everybody is capable of helping." There should have been more communication.
But why does that have to be on her? That's the part I keep going back to is why
it has to be on her because obviously because someone has to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be left.
And that's why I tell her, then you get out. Bye. Go. I'm not telling her as a parent. I'm telling her as a peer. I would encourage her then, yeah, if mom and dad aren't listening to you, if they can't do that for you,
but there's no communication because if you just ran away in the middle of the day, there's no communication with your parents.
Well, she did talk to them. She didn't just leave it. She did call them. She did tell them what happened and why.
But after the fact, she was reactive, not proactive, and we have to thaw Jamie out yet again. So anyway, CPJ says, more than anything, I want to know why the home wasn't built to be a safe place to communicate concerns before jumping ship in the dead of the night. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, like, you needed to communicate, but you didn't. I think it was all of it, not just on her. It was all done. It shouldn't have been done like that. So next thing,
so she did talk to her parents. She said, I tried talking to my parents about it, but they say that my brother is finding himself and the younger ones have to
No.
concentrate on school. I'm in
Bullshit.
my 3rd year of college and it is wrecking me.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I get it. I see that. I see that.
I didn't see that before. I'm sorry. That was on my
Okay.
that was my bad.
So Joanne says, the reason I say is because boys and girls are treated differently. Believe me, I know what I'm saying. I was the maid. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Latina moms and their boys, it's one thing, man. So Joe says she's the one that's frustrated, so it's up to her to begin the conversation. So now we know she did have the conversation. She was ignored. They basically wanted her to be Cinderella and not happening.
That sucks, doesn't it?
It does suck. I mean, I get it.
But I hope, and I've seen this happen too. I hope that in her leaving, that she tries to stay connected still, because sometimes it's just the reset button, right? And I'm glad her brother was feeling pissed about it. He has no right to be pissed as far as I can read. He was living a comfy life.
Yeah, he's pissed because now he can't live that comfy life. Now he's got to pick up the slack that she was all undertaking and nobody else was helping her. Which, that shit on him too for calling her and being mad. But yeah, now that you've said that piece, not the asshole.
I do also think majorly she needs to get out of her boyfriend's house too, though. I don't think that's I think that's
because you
accommodating.
You only left and you found something easy.
I wouldn't say easy.
That is
easy. Actually, yeah. You're right. I would say easy because the more of the story is that he's paying her rent, basically.
But you left in a haste, and so now you've put yourself in a situation to where, I mean,
it's not 100% you.
To go.
When I left my home, when I left my mom, I was gone. I was like, I'm not coming back home. I'm paying bills. I'm getting a job, and I did, and that's
And that's something as parents that we need to do is teach our kids to be responsible.
Yeah, and that's hard though, Sandy, right? Do you hear about, so moving into a new topic with that, I think that's a good segue. When you hear about parent or kids who are living with their parents, past high school, even past college, what's your thought on that?
So I feel like you're crippling your child. You are coddling them, and at 22, you're still going to be calling and having to set their doctor's appointments or dental appointments. They don't know what to say whenever they make a phone call. And the reason I know that because I see that almost on a daily basis, a mom calling to get her 30-year-old insurance. And, you've done too much for them. You don't let them order off the menu. You place the order when you're at a restaurant, and these kids don't know how to do stuff like that because the parents do too much. Now, our deal with Alex was while you're going to school, if you're going to school, you can stay and live here. Okay. You don't have to worry about rent and responsibilities and stuff like that if you're going to college. If you're not going to, stay around and be a bum. You have to go, you have to get a job, you have to work, you have to be a responsible citizen. Let's see. Let me go to these comments because he's frozen yet once again. He was entitled to feel that, yeah, right, cry me a river. And CPJ says, it is my job as a parent to make sure my child leaves the nest ready for the world so we can start the new chapter of a beautiful friendship.
It's my job as a parent to make sure.
And that's exactly right. And a lot of people are failure to launch with their children, which is why they live in your basements and playing video games and smoking weed.
I have an old friend who would have thought differently about that because I used to challenge him on that because I'm like, man, I have a hard time with you being 30-something and living with mom. He goes, you know what? It's great. Mom has space. I'm helping pay the bills. We're more like roommates than mom and son. And I used to be like, but she is your mom and you're living in her house in her basement.
But was he being productive?
Yeah. He was definitely being productive. Okay. He worked. He took care of his kids. the kids got to see their grandma when they came over. I mean, so he wasn't just lazing about in
But if
there,
he,
but
I don't know. I just, my thing is if you're being a productive citizen and it works out,
Mhm.
but if you're just being a complete bum, that's what I have an issue with. Like
Right.
if you're
I
just
have
video gaming and that's all you do day in, day out, and your mom cooks and cleans and does everything for you, that's what I have an issue with. Like
and I'm with you on that.
if you're helping and being a productive citizen, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, because it
Right.
works,
And that's
But
why
if you're
I keep reminding my
disrespecting,
daughters. I keep reminding them. I'm like, I love you, and I'm there for you all the time. I'm like, but I hope you realize you don't get a free ride. Like kind of who was it that said it? Maybe it was a few of you. You will be getting kicked out of this nest. Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm like, I am excited for the day when your mom and I can just be us hanging around doing whatever we want to do in a clean house. Man, I can't wait to
yeah.
hang out with Dr.
The only
Pineapples.
the only ones that we're mad at is ourselves because we forgot to put something up in the fridge and we ain't yelling at children.
And our dishes are getting done. I don't have a problem doing my wife's dishes or laundry. Zero problem. I have a problem with my kids leaving crap as though I'm their maid.
Because
But we
they'll
all
learn the
been,
cuss word, but they don't know how to wash those
they
dishes.
don't learn how to wash them things. I swear to gosh, Sandy. All right, you had a couple topics before I kind of.
So I actually shared a link. And I don't want you to play it, but I want you to show the photo so people will know what I'm talking about. I sent it in our messenger. And let me tell you something. This absolutely made me cry. It'll make you cry too. So
You want me just to
Jamie,
show the picture?
yes, just to show the picture. You don't have to bring the link because I want to share. I can
I'm going to
share
share it
with
on the
you guys.
bottom just to make sure I've got the right one, because sometimes these sites, they
Yes.
always have multiple pictures in there,
Oh,
and I
I
don't want to show
know.
the right one. Is it that
Yeah,
one?
that's it. That's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look over on what is it, the left picture, you
Mhm.
see there's someone's proposing, and
Okay.
you see she's got her ring out or whatever. Well, now pan over to the lady in the purple. She
Okay.
is so happy for her friends. She's photographing,
Yeah.
but guess what happens? The internet trolls take over and
Come
they
on.
start dogging this lady. I mean, making fun of her, and it's awful. It gets so bad. She gets bullied so bad, and she apologizes to her friends and says, I am so sorry that I ruined your proposal. And she was just happy for her friends. But the takeaway from all this is that a dentist got this story and has fixed her teeth for free.
What?
Yes.
You know how much dentist is?
Yes. Yes. And
And I'm
especially for
not dogging
her,
on her, but that work is going to cost a penny.
and that's why she could never afford to get it done because it cost her so much to do it. She was not able to do it. But anyway, she just felt like the dentist did this for her, and now her smile is beautiful. And she has started a foundation to help children like her.
I can't play the video, but
No, you can't play it because I think I'm sure it'll flag it. But
yep.
look, y'all. And I seriously, I bawled when I when I
Mm.
read this. It was so sad because especially her apologizing to her friends for ruining the proposal. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. But anyway, but she endured that to now she has a beautiful smile and
Yeah.
she's no longer embarrassed to go around her children. Anyway, it
Mm.
was a feel-good moment. I can send y'all the article so y'all can read it and cry like I did. But it was a good story.
Yeah, it is. That sounds great. I appreciate that. Like that. I had this kick that I do every now and then where I'm like, it doesn't take much to be a decent human being. Like literally
Exactly.
doesn't. I watched this video the other day of this kid who was so excited to see Spider-Man. Little kid, little chiquito, right? He was like, it's Spider-Man, mom. And he's running his little Batmobile's going and he's running to him. And Spider-Man doesn't give him attention quite yet because he's talking with someone else. But as soon as he's done talking, he just kind of keeps walking. He's looking at everyone else and he sees the little boy and he does a double take to him, grabs his hand, and then they just start strolling and he just starts having this conversation with him. Like he's just talking to him. And I'm like, you see, I get that it's his job, right? I get that it's his job. And he could just walk around and just be like, hey, hi, all that stuff. But to do that little bit of extra, it doesn't take
Yeah,
anything. It doesn't take
nothing.
anything.
It
Nothing.
doesn't.
It doesn't take anything to just be nice to people. Like I've taught the girls from a very young age to share love, to spread love, and all that kind of stuff. And so I can remember the very first time my daughters took that lesson, and they knew that I had a habit of inviting. I know it's going to sound weird. I had a habit of inviting strangers to dinner or to lunches or coming to the house and inviting them to my home to eat with my family. I would just see strangers in the supermarket and I just felt compelled to invite them out and let's have a bite and just get to know each other. When I taught them about spreading love to people, and this is how daddy does it. Like I remember one day when my daughter was like, she's a little bitty, and it was Eva, my oldest. She was like, Dad, she was like, I want to invite him to dinner. And I was like, who? Why? And she was like, I got to invite him. And then she just ran over to the guy and she was like, hi. She was like, I want to invite you to dinner. It was so cute, Sandy. I was just standing there and he was like, really? Where and how? And she was like, to my dad's house with us. And I just stood there and I was like, I was like, I'm not going to deny her. Yeah, she's right. Yeah, you're invited. And so he didn't come, but I remember that experience. And again, I was like, man. And so even to recently, this past weekend, my oldest, she was like, I wanted this sandwich. I saw a guy who needed food. And so I told mom I'm going to give my food to him. And I was like, what? And so, not that I was mad, but even today, she's 14 years old and she still sees people out on the streets or wherever. And she's like, Dad, get your money out now. Give it to him now.
Yeah,
Or she's like, let's get him some food. He's hungry, Dad. Get him something. And I'm just like,
we're doing something right.
I'm getting all sappy right now because
I know.
it makes me happy knowing that that's what she does. That's the kind of stuff she does, And
Yeah.
both of them, I've taught them, you give compliments to people too. And so when they see someone who has beautiful hair or a nice jacket or a pretty smile, they usually will just tell them, they're like, I like your hair. I like your jacket. I like your smile.
And see,
And I'm
that's
like,
one thing that I love is like a woman complimenting another woman because there's so many women that are not complimenters. They're more like little haters and they won't say anything, even though they like it or whatever. But on the same vein you were talking about, I want to say a few months ago, Kay texted us and he's like, Mom, there's this guy, he's a friend of mine on Twitter, and he lives in this area and he really needs money because his family's poor. Can you please, just kind of like you, he was desperate, please donate to him? And I said, let's slow down a second. I said, how long have you known him? He's like, I've known him for a while. I said, does he have internet? And he said, yeah. I said, he has a phone? Yeah. And he's constantly posting things? Yeah. So in my experience, third world countries, you have to put money on your phone. You don't have like these Verizon plans, AT&T plans. You have to have money to get minutes to buy internet stuff. So I said, he has money for that, but he doesn't have money for food. I said, we can, that we'll always donate. I said, but I don't believe people online. Unfortunately, I said, it's probably a scam. And I gave him my example where there was a guy that would post really cute things or whatever. I always liked him. And then one day he reached out, said he was in a war-torn country, and the only thing that would make him happy was iTunes gift cards. And so
I thought you were going to say pictures of your feet.
No, even better, iTunes gift cards would make him happy.
He's like, no, you can keep those iTunes gift cards,
No,
please.
keep those. I can't do anything with those, but iTunes gift cards would make me really happy. So anyway, CPJ says, powerful words that are in red, and the greatest of these is love. I have hope that in my lifetime, more people will pour love than hate. It took that dentist to show the power of Jesus through a lot of ugly. Hashtag spirit check.
And she wasn't the one who was, it was everyone else, man. I swear.
Oh, gosh. It was awful. Well, hello, Anita, making her grand debut 10 minutes before the show is over with the word scam. That's interesting.
Very insightful. We love you, though.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita, for being here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys stalk my Facebook, but I shared a TikTok that I made. Most of you know that I loathe, I hate to pump gas. And usually I ignore the little light that comes on.
Okay.
So we went to Ruidosa with some friends of ours. We all carpooled together. And right when we were leaving their little town, his light comes on. And it tells, we can see it on the dash, and it says, you have 60 miles to empty. No worries. We're but 20 minutes away from the next town with the gas station. But we don't make it. We run out of gas. And we get a rolling start and we jump out of the vehicle and we have to push said vehicle to the gas station. This gentleman pulls up behind us and he has his flashers on. He's helping us. And he thinks it is the funniest shit he's ever seen. He actually takes a picture of us pushing the vehicle, but he follows behind us with his flashers on because just 2 days prior, animal control officers were hit in an accident and one passed. So he didn't want that to happen to us.
Wow.
So there are still some good people left in this world.
Someone
Yes.
passed away?
Yeah, so they were out working in the county and a vehicle hit them and one of the officers passed.
That's sad.
And so that's why he stayed behind us with his flashers to take care of us.
That's good. Sad, but good.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was being nice.
Yeah.
Even though, just said,
Yeah,
even though he was laughing at you. Yeah, no, I'll take it. You can laugh. We were laughing. We were laughing hysterically. I was trying to help push, but I was videoing. And when I put my phone in my pocket, my pants almost fell down. So I was trying to run and pull my pants up at the same time. And on top of that, I was wearing chanclas. So
You were in total mom mode, huh?
yes.
Oh man, that's great.
Sean said nice.
Which part was nice, John? All
I'm
of it?
sure everything that I said. I'm
okay.
sure of it.
He always agrees with you, it seems like.
Oh, I know. So did y'all know, if you've watched Coco, the show, the cartoon, Disney Pixar, Mama
It's
Coco,
good.
she was that was the inspiration. She passed at 109 years old. What a legend. What a legend.
And boy, does she really look like Mama Coco.
Yeah, she did.
Jeez. I was like, y'all did good. Y'all did good
Yeah.
on her. Seriously.
She really did. And they showed her like walking through town and stuff. And I can't help but I'd see my great grandma when I saw her. I would see my great grandma.
So funny how memories work out like that. Because I was thinking
know,
the same
right?
thing. I was like, oh, it's Wilita. We called my great grandma Wilita. I was like, oh man, I miss her.
So one more article that caused a great stir. Do
What is
you guys hand out candy? Is this going to be your first Halloween at your new neighborhood?
No, our second one.
Okay. Do you
But
hand
yes,
out candy?
we do hand out candy. We will hand out candy.
Okay. And do you hand out full size or fun size?
So I usually hand out fun size, but it's very generous portions that I give the kids who come to our house.
So
Very
it's just
generous.
you can hurry up so you can turn out the lights and go to bed.
No. I buy lots of it because I want to be the house that's like, man, they give out a bunch of candy. Because I'll be like, here, take some. And then they'll get them more. I'll be like, take some more. No more like that. And then I'll just go throw it in all the kids' bags. And Keith always like, why do you buy so much candy? And I'm like, I should just buy the big ones. I guess will be more memorable that way. But I think the kids like, all the little stuff.
So
Anyway.
Since we moved to our house in Westminster, we opted to do
Bars.
the full-size bars.
Okay.
Because you can go to Costco and get the big box, and I can't remember how much it comes with it, but it's like $15.
Okay.
And so we didn't have a whole lot of trick-or-treaters. So I want to say we usually get like 2 boxes.
Oh, okay.
So we are the most memorable, because I remember, because the kids will be like, they gave full size. Mom, I got a big one. I can hear them as they're leaving.
Yeah.
And so this is last year was our first year at this house. And so the kids were ushering people our way. So we almost gave up all of our candy because it was memorable.
Okay.
This article, though, said that you need to stop giving out full-size candy.
Y'all stop doing gender reveals first.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
Keep going. I'm sorry, Cindy.
Out of respect for your neighbors. What?
Wait a minute. You know, this was a booty hurt neighbor that wrote this article first.
I'm like, first of all, some of my neighbors don't even hand out candy.
Right.
So why am I what? Why am I going to stop if this is something that I like to do? I don't get mad because you share fun size. I don't. What? I'm like, who wrote this article? A bunch of rudes.
I think we need to take that article and just
never come back to it again.
Get out of here. Get out of here. You know what? Because
get out of here, disgruntled.
Your own whatever, you can own that. You don't put that on me. No mames aquí. Take that. You get out of here.
Exactly.
You know, forget that.
Like what?
Next, you're going to tell me don't decorate for Halloween, don't decorate for Christmas, stop putting on the lights.
Out of whatever for my neighbors.
You know what? Forget them. Anyway, so check this out. We had our first fall of snow this week, guys. Yeah.
Nice comment. So here's my grandma.
Oh my gosh, Sandy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you see her clothes?
Yeah.
Coco had the same clothes. Yeah.
That shawl is exactly reminiscent of her too.
Mm-hmm. So anyway.
Aww.
That's what reminded me.
Yep, but we had our first snowfall of the year, which is funny because we had it at the beginning. Did y'all get a
dusting?
Yeah, it was like literally a dusting, but still. So when you get that before Halloween, you know it's going to be a cold Halloween too. So last year was no joke. Yeah, because many times. So we've been up here 14 years now. I can tell you probably about 90% of those have all been, maybe even 95% of those have been wet Halloweens on some level or another. So whether it's been rain, sleet, or snow, we've had that on Halloween. And it's miserable, but the kids look so cute and they're so fun and it's so cool to go out there and do stuff. You know what I mean? And this
is an accurate comment. A dusting in Illinois is a city closure of Lubbock and 86 accidents before 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Joe, no, I don't think you're wrong. No. I don't think you're wrong.
Sean said, run, kids.
He was saying that to the kids who were fielding them to your house.
Exactly. I get fun size, but a handful. Sad part is I don't get as many as I did before. I know that's us too. Yeah. We get a few. I mean, we could honestly probably do it with one box with as many kids, with as little kids as we get. But then I'm like panicking because I'm like, what if we get more kids? So we still end up with 2 boxes.
You're Mexican.
I know.
that's our thing to carry. My wife says the same thing. She's like, babe, it's just us. Or she'll be like, babe, it's just the Beasleys. And I'm like, yeah, but just in case, you know.
It's a fear. It's a legitimate fear to run out. Y ni lo quiera Dios.
Yeah, so I'm with you. And my wife gets tired of it. And she's like, you act like you're feeding the whole neighborhood. I'm like, well, what if they are hungry and they come in? We got to have it ready.
I know. Anyway, we better call it because I am getting tired. So sleepy. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Oh, I need that one more comment while you look for that. Okay. I'm too poor to give out big candies. We have too many kids in our neighborhood. Well, y'all are lucky and enjoy that because we have I think we had the most we've had in a while. I think we had like 20 last year. But anyway, Thank you all so much for tuning in. I believe I'm going to have a show tomorrow, still ironing out some details. But, you better cut that off before they cut us out.
Who? No, this is StreamYard music. It's built
Oh,
into
it is
now.
StreamYard music. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay. But I'm sure they'll try to claim it. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep,
And
we'll be here
as
next.
usual,
Well, maybe you'll be here tomorrow. You said, but we'll
Might be
definitely
here
be back
tomorrow,
next Wednesday. Okay. Oh, next Wednesday should technically be the Halloween episode, I guess.
oh, we'll have a Halloween episode.
I don't know what it's gonna look like.
Joe, bring your ghost stories, Joe.
Yes, all of them, Joe. Okay.
All one of them.
And
All right,
as
you guys.
usual, everyone,
Remember to be kind, rewind, wash your hands and your butts.
peace out. Love y'all.
Filthy animals. Good night.
You filthy animals.